Pressing live with only one earring is crazy. Grand rising, everybody. Hey, Miss Dolores. Hello there. How are you? Hey, Diamond. How are you? Hey, Lolita. Hey, Carla. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday so far. Miss Dolores, you know that this show never ends. You guys show never starts right, and Bigo's show never ends right. That's just how it goes. Okay. Hey Darnisha, hello there. Hey Robin. Hey Elizabeth. I don't know if it's because Bigo's show is the last show or because you guys is the first show, but y'all don't never start right and they don't end right. Ever. Alrighty, guys, make sure that you do share if you can, and I would definitely appreciate it. Share if you can, okay? And don't forget, we do have this month's raffle going on. Those who send any sorts of super stickers, super chats, or anything of that nature, any type of monetary giving that is given through my live streams or after show or however you do it, you guys will be entered into this month's raffle. And the winner of this month's raffle will be the first to get the exclusive new merch that is dropping very much soon, but you will be the first to have it. Okay. It is unreleased merch that will be dropped, all right, that you will be receiving this month. All right. Grand Rising. Grand Rising, everyone. I'm ready for this show. You ready for this show and Bigo? Ain't no Bigo today. What you talking about? Ain't no Bigo today, Miss Carla. There is no Bigo today. Look at them. Bigo always trying to get extra. Y'all don't have no show today, Miss Carla. This is your only show. There is no Bigo today. I have to get some classwork done. Okay. I have one paper. Hey, King's Kid. I have one paper that is due this week. The other discussion is already done. So I want to go ahead and get it out the way. So then maybe you guys on Bigo will be able to get some extra shows after YouTube daily shows. If I can get this paper done today, you'll get extra shows this week. You was just reading about this case. It's crazy. Have y'all heard about this case? This case is absolutely insane. Here we go here. First of all, let's just go here, okay? The furry subculture, if you guys do not know about them, you're going to learn about them today. There's a lot that goes on within this culture here. I've actually had the pleasure of being amongst them at one point in time during my work as an executive security. I had to be a security for this event here. And they're kind of crazy. Yeah, they're kind of crazy, y'all. What is wrong with people? Is we're living in a time. And also, hold on, put this here. I have to work on. I noticed yesterday's video, guys. I don't know how to mirror. Okay, so is this picture on my right or my left? Because most of the show yesterday, I was being blocked by this, and it's because I don't understand mirroring my screen. I don't get it. It kind of makes me dizzy looking at it, honestly, when I see how it looks. So I don't be knowing what side this thing is on for real, for real. So if y'all noticed yesterday, savvy, what? What is it? Okay, I'm smart, but I don't know anything. That mirror stuff, I don't get it, y'all. I don't understand it. I don't. And yes, I've been on social media 5 years, and that's something that I do not understand. So, is this picture over here, right here? Am I pointing to it right here, or is it over here, y'all? So I can know where to go. Don't be judging me, okay? Don't judge me, all right? Y'all know I'm going to tell you the truth. What side is this picture on? It's on my right, so it's right here, right? It's right here on my right. Okay, so I need to stay over this way then. Okay, because I noticed yesterday that my face was getting cut off by this picture. It's on my left. Listen, is it on my right or my left? See what I'm saying? Y'all about to confuse me. It's on my left. So right here. So it's right here for you guys. I must press 1 if it's right here for you guys. Is this picture right here? Press 1 if it's right here when I'm pointed. Yes? Okay, so I need to stay over here then. Okay. See, on my side, it's over here. On my end, it's over here. Okay, so I need to stay over here then. Perfect. All right, there we go. Don't judge me, okay? Y'all know I may be smart, but it's the little things that I told you. Sometimes these noodles ain't noodling, baby. Okay. I'm just real enough to tell y'all. All right. So thank you for helping me, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. All righty. All right. We're about to get into this story, okay? If you guys have not heard about this story as of yet, it is absolutely insane. Apparently, there was two parents that allowed their daughter to get close and next to some guys that was in this furry subculture, and the unthinkable happened. Okay. Now, this is the family here. Okay. Goodwill-Yost is the daughter. She was 17 at the time. And then you have her mother, Jennifer, and then her stepfather, Christopher. Okay. This is the family. And apparently, the family was a part of this whole furry subculture situation. This happened out there in California. During the time, okay, the primary suspect is Frank. All right. Frank is his name, Frank Felix. And then you also have Joshua Acosta. And then you have the 17-year-old daughter. Okay. Now here's how this case went. And it's kind of crazy. So Frank Felix, all right, he's from Sun Valley, California, and he has been convicted of 3 counts of first-degree murder, stemming from the grisly 2016 triple homicide that happened out there in Fullerton, California. So the victims in this situation was Jennifer and her husband, okay? Jennifer and her husband, Christopher. And then also they had a third person, which was the friend named Arthur. Those 3 were actually killed in the midst of this. So the killings were carried out by Joshua Felix, who was a mechanic in the military. And then he also have his accomplice. And basically Felix, he had become romantically infatuated with Caitlin, the daughter. Okay, it became an obsession where he truly was obsessed with her. And they became a part of each other's lives through this furry subculture or this furry community in which they all were a part of. Okay, the girl's parents, they did disapprove of this relationship, but Felix had allegedly conspired with Acosta to eliminate the parents in order for him to be able to get the 17-year-old daughter. So during the time of the murders, the 6-year-old and 9-year-old children were also there at the time. So this is how it all played out. Back in 2016, Jennifer Goodwill-Yost had introduced her 17-year-old daughter to the furry subculture, which is a community that has a very animalistic type of belief system. Okay. And they furry culture. Yes. So let me tell you guys what the furry culture is so that you can kind of get a better understanding. Okay. So a furry is basically someone who has an interest in human-like animal characters. It has been going on since the 1980s, and the furry subculture had then developed to a vibrant, very global type of community where, if you guys know about the anime festivals and things of that nature, well, the furry subculture, they do the same exact thing. And members typically create these furry fursonas or personas, of which we will say as people, but they create a fursona, which is a customized animal avatar that reflect their identities. Okay. So they dress up like this, and then they create some form of fursona with the character, and they walk around with this thing on. So there's a lot of people that makes different type of allegations in regards to what the subculture is about. People who are within the community says that none of that stuff exists. Like, some people say that they're high in, adult activities. Some people say they're high in doing drugs. Some people say that they do a lot of dark things, but they deny all of that. Okay, that's what it's all about. It's kind of crazy. Now, why the parents would allow their daughter to be amongst this type of thing at 17, there are children that are a part of the furry community, y'all. And some of them, they start off younger, especially if their parents are a part of it. And then some of them end up going into it into their, teen years. So Jennifer Yost had introduced her 17-year-old daughter to the furry subculture. Okay. In late 2016, the teen had then met Frank Felix, who was 25 at the time, and Joshua Acosta, who was 21 at the time. So during this time, one of them were actually stationed at a base for the military. So on September the 14th of 2016, Acosta and Felix had arrived at the Yost home out there in California. So Acosta had entered into the home while Felix had waited outside. Now he was waiting outside with the 17-year-old daughter. Okay. So the friend, whose name is Butcher, he was then shot while sleeping on the couch. Jennifer Yost was shot in the face while she was sleeping. And then Christopher Yost, he attempted to flee, but he was also shot in the head on the patio. Felix and the young girl had fled the scene and left. Now, keep in mind, she says that she didn't know anything about none of this. Okay? And it is said that Felix and the girl had left, and during their time of leaving, they also attempted to destroy evidence. So on September the 25th of 2016, the Yost daughter, ages 6 and 9, had discovered the bodies, and they called 911. Felix is then arrested at his home in Sun Valley, and Acosta is then arrested in Irwin. Okay. Now in 2018, Acosta was then convicted due to this situation, and he was sentenced to life in prison. In November 2024, Felix was convicted of 3 counts of murder, and as well as some enhancement charges as well. And it wasn't until this month, April the 11th, that he was then sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Okay. Now, when it comes to this whole entire investigation, the officers had determined that Acosta had used a shotgun that was provided by Felix in order to commit these crimes, who then also supplied the ammunition, earplugs, bolt cutters to disable the weapons safety lock as well. The crime scene details. So the crime was then executed the victims were executed in close range. The children were asleep in the house at the time, and their bodies were then found the following morning. So when it comes to Felix's role into this, he did admit to assisting with the plan and also providing the murder weapon. Acosta did confess as well, and he confirmed that Felix had provided the means and motivation for the killing, because apparently Felix wanted to be with this 17-year-old girl. He was totally infatuated with her. He began to it was an obsession in which the parents could no longer block from happening, even though they did not approve of it. Now, it's kind of weird that they're saying that they did not approve of it, because he had to be given some form of access to this young girl in some way. She's 17. Hey, Trawana, she's 17 at the time. So he had to be given some form of access in the very beginning, but she began to go along with him alone possibly at some times, because don't forget, she was sitting in the car while her parents were being murdered. Okay. And this was outside of the whole furry situation. So during the teen's testimony, hey, Kilapetto, how are you? During the teen testimony, she says that she did not know anything about the murders beforehand. And she also had added a little bit of extra to this too. So she says that she was speaking to Felix, and in the midst of this, she also admitted that her stepfather, had been inappropriate with her for years. And Felix had basically threatened her that unless she complied with him wanting her, he was going to expose that the stepfather had been inappropriately doing things to her for years on end. Okay. And all of this didn't come out until after the murders had happened. And she has never been charged because she assisted with the investigation. And then she also says that she didn't even know that they were going to go do that. Hey, Layla. So when it comes to the children that were in the home, okay, they say the Yotes' younger daughters, who was 6 and 9 at the time, had woke up and discovered the murders of their parents and as well as the friend. And Christopher Yotes' sister had declared no sentence can erase the horrors that happened that night. And these are statements that was made during the trial. So Felix's statement refers to himself as a beast in court and said that he would trade places with the victim if he could. Now, I honestly and truly question a lot, even though she assisted them with the investigation, I still believe that she either knew something or because he had already, put fear in her into some way, she was afraid to say that something was going to happen. Because let's not forget that after this, she ran off with him and destroyed evidence. This girl here, the one with the gray shirt on. And my thing is this, why did these parents allow this? He's 25 at the time. He had to be given access in the very beginning of some sort. And it got a bit too deep. It went a bit too far. Okay. They possibly thought, okay, this is a furry convention. And, because they go to different type of conventions. And during these conventions, there's a lot of partying going on. They may be out on the streets together. People are taking pictures with them in their costumes. And there are people of different age ranges there. While there could be parents that have their kids there, their children are still being monitored. But for him to have this sort of level of obsession to where he's willing to do this, there had to be some form of approved interaction in the very beginning. But that interaction turned into something different. And then with the daughter adding on to this, that there was some inappropriate things going on with the stepfather, I wouldn't even be surprised if the stepfather didn't know about it. I wouldn't even be surprised. Have you guys ever watched that story? What is it? Kidnapped in Plain Sight? That's what this gives me. Hey, crime mobster. That's exactly what this right here gives me. That kidnap, I think it was on Netflix, where the mother and the stepfather, the mother and the father had moved a man in, and he began to have an inappropriate relationship with their daughter. They even allowed him to sleep in a bed with the daughter. And all of a sudden, him and the girl had ran away. But because the man had this, he was basically holding secrets over their head. One of the secrets is that the father had some intertwining relations with him, and then the mother had some intertwining relations with them. So because both of the parents was afraid that the man was going to expose them both, they allowed their daughter to be given to this man and ran off with this man. Meanwhile, they knew the inappropriate relationship that was going on. But because they both had been holding secrets and doing things with this man sexually, a lot of things were swept under the rug up until she was kidnapped and ran away with him. So I wouldn't even be, when I see stories like this, it makes me wonder, did these parents know or approve of this older gentleman here being with their daughter, and things went a little bit south because it got a little bit obsessive and a little bit infatuated? It began to get, because you don't get this level of infatuation overnight to where you will kill to have someone unless there's like a lot of time spent, unless he's just absolutely crazy. This Felix guy, which he does look it, by the way. Ain't nobody sleeping in the bed with my daughter. You believe it or not, Evangelist, it's some people out here that there are people in this world that will allow these type of relationships to happen until things go left. And then they don't want it to happen anymore because they're realizing that it's getting a little deep. The waters are getting a little deep. So it sounds strange to us because we'll be like, heck no, are you out your mind? My 17-year-old daughter, and you're 25 years old, along with your older friend, military friend, and you guys are out here trying to run off with my baby. And I guess it got a little bit strange after that, but this level of infatuation to where you would walk in the house and think about it. The daughter was sitting in the car with this man during this time. You will never be able to convince me that she didn't see them gather weapons. She didn't see them put things together, and nothing came into her mind about what was about to happen. Okay? Because she's sitting in a car as her parents are being killed. And she also, this goes back to what's that story? Where a girl killed her mother because her mother was forcing her to Gypsy Rose, where Gypsy Rose ran off with that guy because her mother was abusive. And they came up and plotted this plan in order to kill. So I wouldn't even be surprised if it was one of those situations where she had vented to him about this inappropriate behavior that was going on with the father. And in an effort to get away from that abuse, here we are. I wouldn't even be surprised if this is the truth, if that was the underlying truth. But because she was 17 years old at the time, and because these are two older men in their 20s during that time, they're in their 30s now, of course, and she is considered a victim because she has been manipulated and controlled on both ends. She has been manipulated and controlled within the household because the abuse has been hidden for years. And then she's being manipulated and controlled by these men here. And they're probably giving her all type of pipe dreams of how they can make her life better and how he's madly in love with her and things of that nature. This is some crazy work. And it's definitely, this is similar to Gypsy Rose. I wouldn't even be surprised. But unfortunately, you know, these two parents lost their lives, including a friend. And I wonder what the friend was just, they had to get rid of the friend because he was there, of course. I think that's the only thing. But for them to discover that there was some other family secrets that uncovered this is bizarre in itself. This one case uncovered years of abuse that was going on into the household by the hands of the stepfather. Unfortunately, and he's deceased now, so he will never be able to stand justice for that alone. But she's out and she's free. They didn't arrest her or anything like that. She's good to go. But imagine living a life knowing that your father and your mother connected you with a furry group. And you know what I would love to know is if she's still a furry today. I would love to know if she's still in furry because this is one of those subcultures, guys. This is like once a hippie, always a hippie. That's what this culture is like. And I've seen and experienced what this whole subculture looks like. This furry subculture, it's a lot going on. Okay. When I say it's a lot of what the world, I know it's a lot of drinking for sure. Okay. And I've also seen that they partake in a lot of pineapple behavior. I don't know if you guys know what that is or not, but I've also heard that too. I don't know how true that is because when you look it up, they basically say that the furry subculture is just a fun, colorful group of people who enjoy to get together and take on these fursonas while in character. But they say that you heard that too, yeah. hmm but they say that the whole pineapple thing isn't true. They say it is not true. They don't partake in that type of stuff. They also say that all the darkness that people say about them, it's not real. So this is one of the yeah, sure. That's what they say. But I must say, when I was patrolling down there in Atlanta and they had the whole subculture, the whole furry convention, and I seen them in the hotels, they're kind of crazy. They're truly a sight to see. And they take it very seriously, guys. Like they take their fursona very serious. they go into a whole character with these things here to where it's very realistic, and they invest a lot of money in these suits, and they invest to and really to explore this lifestyle to make it very much a real thing. Heavy drinking and smoking and illegal substances. Yeah, yeah, that's what they say. But I'm going to give you what they tell us what it is, okay? So this is what they say it is by the on the on the on the educational standpoint of it all, okay? So a furry is someone who has a strong interest in human-like animal characters. They have emerged since the 1980s, and the furry subculture has developed into a vibrant global community. Members often create fursonas, that is customized animal avatars that reflect their identities. Furries may also express themselves through digital art, costumes, and full fursuits, and as well as connect through platforms like Reddit, Twitter, Furzoo, and Deviant Art. Wait, Deviant Art? What do you mean? What you mean? When you say deviant, what type of deviancies are we talking about here? See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's like a cult. You see what you when you say deviant, what do you mean? Because deviancy can come in a lot of different that says enough right there. Deviancy is a kind of heavy word. Deviant art. So while many furries simply enjoy the creative aspects of the community, online spaces has also led to problematic encounters, especially involving minors. Deviants, yeah, yeah. My cousin is one of these people. She dresses like an animal and goes to S parties. She also worships Satan. I avoid her at all cost, and my kids aren't allowed around her. You see what I'm saying? And when I was researching to learn about them, because y'all know I gotta really get an understanding of cases when I'm covering them, and they're like, none of that is true. Everything that you just said is the things in which I was seeing when digging into this case, and they're like, none of that is true. But with them saying deviant art, what do you mean? Let me research what that is. What is deviant art, y'all? We got to find out. What is deviant art? They're just saying it's a community of art lovers. Does deviant art allow adult content? Even though deviant art features a mature content featuring system, so basically it's a platform. Deviant art is a platform. It's an online community that features artwork, videography, photography, and literature. It was launched in the 2000s. Hmm. Hmm. It's sickening art. Have you seen it before? I gotta research this group. I'm out of the loop here. Yeah, you gotta research it. Every time they do demonic stuff, they call it art. That's true. Yeah, the furry community it's a really different type of culture. I'm telling y'all, it's a very different, but when I first saw them, to see humans take on a persona like this and go all out the way that they do was kind of different to see. And when I had spoke to a girl, I spoke to her down in Atlanta, and she said that some of those suits cost thousands of dollars. These here suits. They said the more you spend, the more you spend on this, that's how you know that you're really a furry. When you begin to invest big into the culture and you begin to go to all the events and you begin to network amongst them. And that's when you really become a part of, what they are all about. And I did hear about the pineapple parties and I heard about the drugs and things of that nature, but they dress it up for the forefront as a very colorful, vibrant community. But something tells me that behind these suits, if you guys' imagination is this in depth, I can only imagine the type of things that goes on at you guys' events. They even talk different voices. Yes, they talk in different voices and everything, y'all. They talk in different voices. Their body movements change. They really become the character in which you see. You know, that's what they do. But whatever the secrets are, I don't know. But I do know that it does attract children because of the character. But it's really not for kids. I would never take my children to a furry event. I just wouldn't do it. And it's simply because of the things that are said about them. So I would not take my children to something like this, but many parents do. I don't even know why this couple even allowed their child around a 25-year-old masked man in a furry suit. I don't even know why they allowed that. And something tells me that it's very possible because guys, they don't really take the mask off really. The parents probably didn't even know this man's age until they were deep in. For all we know, he could have played us if he was another 16 and 17-year-old furry. And the whole time, he's a whole 25-year-old man. But because he's behind a mask, you possibly would never tell. And added on top of that, they changed their voices and everything, and they act very childlike. They take on very childlike, very bubbly, furry personas. That's what it looks like. So it's 9 out of 10 that they didn't even know that this was a grown man behind a furry suit that their daughter was talking to. And it probably got really deep. And when they learned his real actual age is when they began to say, okay, no, you can't be, I don't want you with him. And then that's when things went left, you know? But they probably didn't even know that that he was an adult. That girl was probably born into a cult. For them, let me tell you, for them to be adults in it, 9 times out of 10, they've been in it for a while. But was but yeah, they had to be in it for a good little bit, you know. For them, they probably know a lot of people. It's one of those communities where if you know, you know. There's a lot of people that don't even know what a furry is. Never even seen one before, didn't even know about the culture. Didn't even know that there was a whole furry culture out here that goes and do festivals and things of that nature across the United States. There are people in the world that don't even know what these things are. This is literally one of those things where if you know, you know. That if you've never encountered it before or you're not from a major city that hosts these events, you would never even know that these things out there does exist. It's something like the anime culture, um, but anime is way more bigger than furry culture. Furry culture is it's big too. Don't get me wrong, it's big, but it's a little bit different than anime. Putting on costumes, Lord have mercy, Layla. I can't even put that up here. I believe her parents knew because they are a part of it. I do too. I think that they knew, but I'm gonna tell you what I think that they knew, but I don't think they knew his age until all of the outside of the suit things begin to happen. This level of infatuation, y'all, it don't grow overnight. Obsession to kill does not grow overnight. This is something that had to be taken on over days or months, or possibly years. We don't know how long this man has been around. But you're not just getting that infatuated unless he's just outright just insane and crazy. Ok- You know, I got to look at him to see. Hmm. He looked like he looked like an avatar, if you want me to be honest. He doesn't even look real. Frank doesn't even look like a real person. That's if you want me to be honest with you. Um, No, no, that's deeply embedded in them, that killer instinct. Yeah, that too. I hear some schools are putting litter boxes in for for the furry kids. And I even see videos of teachers that think they're cats. I wish I would. I would take my kid up out of there. I wish I would see a grown adult acting like a cat in front of kids. I wish. See, it's some crazy stuff going on. It's some crazy stuff going on. But yes, y'all, this is, and so he just now, what's crazy is this happened in 2016 and they're just now getting him sentenced. It's crazy. That's a lot. He must put up a good old fight. That's crazy. But he has been sentenced to life recently. And yeah, I hope that what they're saying about the furry community isn't true, you know. But there's a lot that goes on. This story here don't add to it. I promise you that. For there to be a whole furry convention that turns into a triple deletion is crazy. It's kind of bizarre. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today. I appreciate you a lot. I heard about that too. I homeschool mine. You did? But I need to look it up then. I haven't ran across that yet. I haven't schools with litter boxes? Wait. Are you guys serious? I'm gonna have to research that. Thank you, Miss Dolores. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bigo, you guys do not have me today. Don't go looking for me. Okay. Do not go looking for me. I will not be there. All right. I am doing classwork today. But if anyone is a social media influencer or content creator and you're looking to make a secondary income, I do have an agency on Bigo Live where you can make a nice income monthly on the platform. I do offer you onboard training as well as monthly trainings to ensure that you continue to prosper on the platform. You must be able to commit to a minimum of 30 hours per month in order for you to make income from the app. Okay. If you are interested, all you have to do is email me at savageroyaltyent@gmail.com, or you can DM me on Instagram, or you can also message me on the app as well if you are interested. Okay. That is how you become a host on the platform. And you have to do a 30-second video audition. What I do tell you everything that you have to say in order to pass. Okay. And it's just 30 seconds, and you will be able to become a host in less than 48 hours. If you guys are interested, just contact me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today. I appreciate you a lot. And thank you for watching True Crime with Savage Royalty.